civil aggression. What does that mean to us? What does that mean in the various sectors of canine protection? For the personal protection market, the dog's civil aggression must be very visually aggressive and violent. Visually. Now, imagine that, doing some crowd control with a canine. The whole point of that is to scare people away, to disperse them. So therefore, I would imagine that the amount of civil aggression, the real bark, that is so intimidating, should be so visually stimulating that it should distract anybody from challenging the orders of the police officers, in my opinion. But then we have to look at the length of time the dogs are working for. Is that why they show fatigue? Or is the bark development not done with incredible skill?
Okay, so no sleeves. Walk around. Lead. Matt, no communication from you. Nothing. At all. Fran! Now start shouting back.
Hey! Go on, look! Hey!
Again, one of the most important things for us in our particular sector is that the dog is feared first and foremost. Our clients are not security dog handlers. Our clients are not sometimes even strong enough to challenge. But the dog must challenge the intruder effectively to the point that the intruder cancels every aspect of their aspiration to rob. Absolutely no criticism of this beautiful Malinois or the work that these gentlemen are doing. What's most important is to understand your market and understand the benefits of your training processes for your specific market and target audience. A muzzle attack for us in personal protection is very ineffective because the criminal knows for a fact that they can't be bitten for real, that the muzzle is a barrier behind the real bite, so therefore they will attack the dog and harm the dog so they can still continue their activity of robbing you. So we don't practice this. What we realize is that most of our clients, especially in the UK, we are not looking for the dog to bite. We're looking for the dog to show such civil aggression through the barking process, frothing at the mouth, to intimidate any potential criminal activity. And, criminals are not, crazy. Well, they are. But, they're not delusional about the reality of a dog bite. Now, the more violent the barking appears to be, the more probable that they will go somewhere else, go next door. Seek a much easier opportunity to rob than one where you are at risk of leaving DNA where you'll be caught and being seriously injured to the point that it changes your life permanently. That's why we develop this intensity, so the dog doesn't have to commit a bite unless we have a very stubborn intruder. Towards maturity, one of the most important aspects of our civil aggression training is to fade the equipment. You'll notice now that the dog is facing a man with bare arms, which is reminiscent of real life. You don't expect criminals to be coming with sleeves. So we start to train the dog, to focus on typical weapons like snatching a stick. It could be about whatever from the criminal. Fading the unnecessary stimulus, the dancing around by the decoys, the overly exaggerated prey movement. Here we proof this dog's understanding of bark at this individual. He sat down. It's the most unoffensive pose. There's no jumping around. There's no sleeves. There's no nothing. It's just the dog listening specifically to the command. Now, this is so important for private residences because they want to quickly scare off or prevent a criminal from carrying out a diabolical act on them. So this vicious display is going to be very helpful in achieving that goal.
Decoy work and helper work. How should it look for an animal that is being prepared for the real world? First of all, animated behavior. On a young puppy, okay, I understand that. But on a dog that's fully grown, do we still need to be, for example, cracking whips and dancing around? Go on, dance around. Ooh, baby, Shimon. Can you do the moonwalk for me? Yo, Shimon, baby. We don't need to be doing shit like this. Because first of all, nobody in the real world is going to agitate a dog, period. And they're certainly not going to be agitating a dog like that. Most people that are acting like that are drunk and are innocent victims. Another thing is this. To get a dog to bark, why would someone need to dance around? Go on, jump around again for me. Come on, come forward. Pinch your hand. And start walking around really like slow. Ooh, go on, cool. Spider-Man. Listen, for me, why this passion all of a sudden? Don't be using real dog sentiments and trying to discredit what I do, and you using real dog sentiment in your work when you're still doing fuckery like that. A dog, when you ask a dog to bark at an intruder, absolutely the intruder stands still and the dog must do it, regardless. As callous as this sounds, whether it's a grandma, a grandpa, if you've asked that dog to bark, that dog should bark. Okay, so no sleeves. Walk around. Lead. That's no communication from you. Nothing. At all. Fran! Now start shouting back.
Hey! Go on, look! Hey!
So, Alistair, there's a lot of thrashing about in dog training, and I wonder whether the best dogs need a lot of this extra stimulus from the helper or the decoy, and we want to start to, assess dogs and profile them on their ability just to get on with the job. So, you're not going to jump around, you're not going to do anything else. All we're going to do is have a little mouth off.
Hey!
Leave us
Go
alone.
on,
We don't need trouble.
Go on, then.
Good boy.
And that's it. You stay totally still. Send him now.
Fucking.
He now has to find his way up. Don't help him. Don't do anything. Okay, if he wants it, he needs to find his way up. Jesus Christ. I love this dog.
Good boy.
Going after him.
We're always learning and always trying to adapt our process. Self-motivation is a drive that I'm looking for in the young dogs that we are selecting for our personal protection program. You know, how self-motivated is the canine? Because in the real world, the criminal is not going to aid and abet your canine to bite them or track them down. The dog must want it himself.